Why did I get into music? Oh my God, when I was 7, no. All right, I'm from Detroit. I grew up in a church family and everything. And in church we sang. And so I sang and I loved it. And every time I sang, no matter what the song was, ABCs, Mary Had a Little Lamb, anything from church. What was my favorite? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. You know, as a kid, when I sang that, I felt so good doing it, and I felt like it just was natural. So I would go home and pick up my brush and stand in the mirror like an 8-year-old and sing like this. And I would tell people, one day I'm gonna be a singer. And I wrote my first song when I was 9, so I knew I'm in. I'm doing this. I loved it. What does music mean to me? Music means love, life, breath, communication, shared exchanging, and emotion. So for me, music is everything, but most importantly, it's love. So whatever's inside comes out through you musically. Yeah, I think music is the medicine that helps to heal all kinds of sorrows. So in the plight of the man who has suffered due to the causes of other men, music is a very strong solace and a thing that can use to counsel you. So yes, I think that we use music in slave times to help us keep the rhythm and not to feel the pain of actually working as slaves as much, you know, and to try to like make the time go by. I think we use music when people pass, when people are born, when we're separated as couples, you know, and just I think that music is everything. So yeah, yes, sure. Yes, it is the background music and the fabric of our life, like they say in the commercials, you know. When I was a kid, I remember that. But yeah, it is the theme music of your life. My number one message, the answer is yes. My number one message is love. I believe, my mantra is spread love, not hate. But as a creator, I find myself creating more than one thing. So it's more than just the music. So you create the lyrics or the melody. I'm a singer-songwriter, but I don't play any instruments or write any music like a classical musician does. Like I can play maybe 3 or 4 chords, and I'll strum them in my closet in secret to get the basics of the song, you know. And I write the song. But that's one creative mode, and then I have the idea of like, what is it going to look like, you know? And with the internet and creating content and stuff, and I got on YouTube and all these other social media apps, I started filming and doing more. So now, when I'm creating, I'm thinking of everything. Like, if I write a song, you know, what is the images I see in the background of the song? Or sometimes I can see something and it gives me the song because I see the visual of it. So being a creative, I don't know what kind of artist that turns me into. Maybe I'm a visual artist, or I consider myself a singer-songwriter, but as time goes, it grows. So I put on a hat for filming and a hat for editing and for writing. And I write my songs in story forms. But I'm starting to write stories in song form. Of course, the importance of our own ownership. Now for me, that is a loaded question. Let me put my book down and say this in a way that I don't insult anyone. You know, during our blackout last year, people were asking, if you shop at Frenchie's that's owned by the black person, is that a black-owned business? And for me, the answer is no, but it's a black-owned franchise, right? They don't own the franchise. They're just leasing that one business in the whole thing, you know. But the real deal of it all is they're leasing from somebody who owns the company, you know. So what does that mean? The importance of ownership is everything. So in my opinion, I don't even know how to phrase the answer in a way that makes sense, but putting the dollars back into our own communities to help us with each other's growth, to take care of our streets, to take care of our playgrounds, to take care of our children, to feed them, to understand our old and elderly. We need to come together as a community. And so we can start that with black business, because if you have a store in a neighborhood that is owned by someone who lives in that neighborhood, then they care about the people in that neighborhood, and they're gonna remember little Betty, little Bobby, and little Peanut, and all of them that come in the store when they're 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 9, and 10, and just when they grow up, you know, that's the community. And I think that we are missing that today, and I'd like to see that happen. So convenience has kind of erased the lines. So people consider going to certain fast food restaurants that is like owned by us in the neighborhood, a black-owned business. And yes, it is, and no, it isn't, because it's part of a franchise. I'd like to see us just get out there and just do what we do, whatever we're passionate about, whatever food we like to cook, make that restaurant, get in the community, and stay there and and learn the people in the community and give back, you know. So that's the restaurant that's gonna hire Peanut from when he was 5. Now he's 16, and he's like, oh yeah, I seen you grow up, and you need a job. Come on in here and work here at this place, you know. And they understand how to keep that dollar in the community. So it means everything. It's important. Oh, well, yeah. I have 2 big influences for me for music and black history, or for the strength of it. And then the first one is Nina Simone, obviously. I learned about Nina Simone very late in life, when I was in college in Austin, or in Houston. A friend of mine who's a poet introduced me to Nina Simone. I had no clue or anything. I knew nothing about her, nothing. And then the first person, though, that inspired me was Billie Holiday. And it was interesting because Billie Holiday's life, if you look at her life as a singer, her issues and her battles and her obstacles were mostly from her personal life, you know, her dealings with her relationships, drugs, her past, you know, all these things were that. But all during that, she overcame that, wrote songs, and performed around the world, and still had to walk in the back door. Her name was on the marquee, and she had to walk in the back door. That affected me growing up. So that led me to Nina, and Nina had the fight songs. It wasn't until later I learned about her love songs, but her fight songs, you know, Mississippi Goddamn, which, you know, or Pirate Jenny, or For Women. These songs, these kind of songs, I didn't know up until that point were even written. I didn't know. So then the revolution will not be televised, you know, you start hearing those things. Then I started, you know, kind of like going from one artist to the next. But the first 2 were Billie and Nina, as far as understanding and connecting my blackness to my music, because I was brought into music by the church, and then I separately discovered music separately from the church with Shaka and Anita Baker, and neither one of them were from my experience of the black experience. It was just 2 beautiful voices that I loved. So that's interesting anyway. 2021, what I would like to see is more collaboration and cooperation among people. For example, when we had the blackouts and we were talking about black-owned businesses that we could go to and shop and do our duties for the 7 days that we were gonna, you know, just shop black businesses. a lot of people had difficulties. There were a lot of people in the community who didn't have cars and have children, so they couldn't go to the local black beauty supply store that's 5 miles away, and that's the reason why they go to Sally's, which is only half a block away or half a mile away. Or people who didn't want to go to a black-owned grocery store during that time because HEB or some other grocery store was right down the street from them, and they didn't have the possibility to do that. So what I would like to see happen in 2021 is the community getting together. Because I said to one of those people, do you have 9 people, friends that have cars? It's like, yes, I have 9 friends that have cars. So you can't ask 9 of those friends, one of them could drive, and then 8 of you get together in the car and you go to a black farmer and you buy black food, black food. You buy the food from this black-owned farmer's business, and then you can go to a rancher owned by black people and get a cow or a chicken and split it amongst those 9, 10 people in that car, and then take it home, community, everybody works together. That's what's missing. I miss that it takes a whole village to raise one person. We don't have that connection anymore. We're so busy looking at each other and judging each other for different levels, Either we got educated and we think you're one of those, or we didn't get educated and we think you're one of those, So it's like, and I would like to see that bridge and come together. I'd like to see us work together. So for 2021, I would like us to get into that mindset that eat healthy. Fast food is not just eat healthy. I would like to see us eat healthy. I would like to see us work together. I would like to see us reach out our hand to our neighbor and our community people and give. And I would like to see people share knowledge. Each one teach one. Each one teach one is how we learn to read. They didn't want us to read, right? So how do we learn to read? One slave learned how to read and taught somebody else how to read. And then they taught somebody else how to read. And we all came up. And that's what I would like to see for 2021.
Beautiful.
Is that too much? Health is important. Eat fresh. Grow your own food if you can. Share with your neighbors. And don't forget the meaning of love. And if you don't know the meaning of love, look it up. Knowledge is key, though. Knowledge is key. But this year, we really should work on our community and our health. And take care of yourselves. Change your habits. This is the time that we can change how we do it. And no, I don't think I have any major prolific or profound. Not prolific, profound closing statement. It's just that do what you love and what makes you feel good inside. Have pride about where you come from. Read a book, at least one this year, and plant something, anything, one thing, and love your neighbor. That's it. That's it.
Nice. Miss OcSong,
Yes.
thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Happy
sir.
New Year and happy Black History Month.
Raw Brilliance in the house.